Hello, lovely people of the internet. Tis I, the Savage Minnow, here with the Spackle. I don't know if there's anybody else coming in, but welcome, welcome. I'm hoping you can hear me. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I can't hear Spackle, but it looks like my mic's picking up, so I'm just going to keep talking by myself while Spackle figures that out. Looks like she might be gaming. Okay. She's aware of the problem. Right on, right on. So yeah, I'm not sure if anybody else is coming in tonight, but we'll see. We'll see. I did take Sammy's suggestion and I did screen grab. Spackle, I see you back, but I see devices not connected. Oh, okay. You ready? See how this goes. Still don't hear anything. Oh, something. Briefly. But I did, let's see. I think I have still a screen share.
Test 1 2, test 1 2. How about that?
+1 2 +1 2. How about that?
Wow, this is terrible. How about now?
We're good. We can hear you.
Amazing. I'm on my desktop this time. And then I found out my avatar's not set up. I don't even have a camera on this one. So I was like, oh no, and I was trying to start. So then I found a screenshot of a game and threw it up. Just so there's an icon because I can't stand no icon.
Yes, I get you. Oh no, am I frozen? Looks like I'm frozen every time I go to a different window. Oh well. Oh well. Okay. You know what I need to do is I need to hook up the Ethernet. I thought I had it last week and then it was not. I tried to do it like right before it's streaming.
Oh, you're relying on Wi-Fi? Oh yeah. I am
stupidly.
too, actually. I am trying a new drink right now. It's called Smithwick's, and it's Smithwick's and the Sons of Ireland Red Ale, and it's really good. But it was
Okay.
interesting. It was only 4.5% alcohol, so like that's pretty low. Like it's not bad.
Sorry, that was probably
Consider
loud.
considering the cider that I drank was 8.
Yeah, I don't have any alcohol. I almost feel like I should have like a half a shot that I drink for like AA night. But no, I feel like in some ways that's maybe like a little bit disrespectful. I'm gonna smoke weed
Yeah.
just because I smoke weed. Like that's just like that is my like drug of choice or whatever. But like I do it recreationally. I don't like overindulge. I don't, So basically, I'm just gonna not alter my pattern for the sake of the stream, really.
Yeah. Moderation is key. I intentionally stop a lot of times, so that way. But it does help with pain, because I have chronic pain. It really does, and it's like a much better alternative than like an opioid or something like hydrocodone.
I don't get like really serious pain relief benefits from it, but I do get where it just like sort of relaxes me to where like the pain doesn't bother me as much and I can like listen to music and kind of zone out or that kind of thing
And it definitely gives me an
more.
appetite when I don't have an appetite,
Yeah,
which
I hate
is
that shit.
like I know that's weird, but I forget to eat a lot, so it's almost like to my benefit. Like,
See, I forget to eat, but like I don't know. It's like a it's like a deal that I have with my body. Like you didn't say anything, so it's on you. I guess I should take this banner down.
if you want something, speak up.
Exactly. And like give me
What's
some warning.
fun?
Don't just like
Hi.
throw it at me
Right,
because that's
right.
rude.
So what are we going to talk about today? Like obviously it's like open panel and we're kind of going by the breeze.
I did I took Sammy's suggestion and I have this shit queued up today, which
Uh-oh,
is
we're going to watch something?
no. I mean,
We're
we
going
can
to get
watch something if you want. But
Oh, the bite model.
Stephen
Are you in
Sean,
a cult?
are you in a cult? I haven't written the jingle yet. It's been a rough week. I had exams this week, but you know what? I just took my first exam. I have exams this week, I should say. I
Um,
just took my
oh,
first exam like a couple hours ago. I got
woohoo,
99 out of 100.
you
I'm
rocked it.
stoked.
Yay.
So, I'm in a good mood. It's just, a weird mood today. So this is all about, are you in a cult? Are you in authoritarian control group,
Well,
right? Are you
question.
in a high
Let's
control
let
group?
I want to like go through the bite model. I'm going to think about the church that I used to work in because like even though it's established church, there was a lot of culty things going on because like just because it's a church doesn't mean it's like a healthy church. And I'm just curious how many of these it's going to hit because my therapist says that I act like I came out of a cult. So I want to know.
You might have. So the four components of the bite model are behavior control, information control, thought control, and emotional control. Scroll up a little bit so we can see that there. And this kind of breaks it down. So behavior control, this category explores how manipulative groups regulate and dominate their members' actions and behaviors through strict rules, rewards, and punishments, limiting individuals' autonomy. So that's the B. Information control, examining the tactics of manipulative organizations to control information flow through censorship and propaganda, restricting members' access to outside perspectives. It's all about we only have these approved. Um, in the rooms, we said it's conference approved literature, right? Conference approved. You weren't supposed to read that other junk that isn't conference approved.
That is kind of weird. Wait, they in AA, they told you there's certain stuff you can read and certain stuff you can't?
For recovery shit, yeah. So you're not supposed to like smart recovery and stuff like that. It's like, really you should stick to conference approved literature.
Oh man. So like
This
I'm
is
like
all
the kind of
conference
person that's like if you're ill, like, if you're feeling unwell, like throw everything at it. Like kind of person, like whatever works.
Well, that would not be really giving your all to the 12 steps. You really need to focus on the 12 steps. Come on, Spackle. Get with it.
I know. I'm just messing this up. I'm not very good at it.
But yeah, that's why like you'll hear them say, "Oh, this book that's conference approved. I read this." And this is one that I saw. I did so when I bought my school books, I got two more. I got two more recovery books. I know it's bad. I really shouldn't, but these two caught my eye, and they were both less than $5. This one is a tiny big book, and I just think it's fun.
It's a tiny big book, guys, so you use a big magnifying glass for it. Hi, D Fluke. Hi,
And
Doubting Tom.
hello, hello. Oh, thank
If y'all
you,
want
thank
to
you.
come in, just let us know.
You're not late. You're not late. We just got started not that long ago, 18 minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah, we're just chilling.
This one's about them recruiting inmates in prison.
Oh, it's for prison. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically like how to recruit. It's not like that. It's not set up that way, but it is stories that are like supposed to be passed like inmate to inmate. And the idea is that it's again, the binding on this is so it's conference approved, but it's very bare bones. I don't know if you can see that on camera. And this is something that like it wouldn't be flagged if it was like sent into an institution or anything like that. And this is likely they get this out to like jails, prisons, any place that is it probably also like behavioral centers, any place where you're like locked in. Um, and then it has like these very cherry picked stories of people who like found their life again through AA.
The testimony part.
Yes, it is the testimony part.
The Fluke asked a question. Are you going to go and overlap to Dare at some point? That's an interesting question.
Ooh, I went through Dare as a kid. That might be interesting to look at some of the overlaps with that because I do think I remember reading a while back that like Dare programs for most kids did not work. If anything, they kind of did the opposite where they made like drugs look kind of cool. And it was a major scam. Interesting. I want to know about this major scam.
Everybody had a T-shirt growing up. I was homeschooled, so I never went through Dare, but everybody else had a T-shirt.
One of my buddies still has one.
Dare to keep off drugs.
I think around
Maybe
here it was like
I'm
one
on
of those things where it's
Temu.
ironic to like, well, here we get a big Goodwill all the time.
I could
It
see
was like
Temu
an
having
ironic
something weird
thing.
like that. Like just randomly.
Probably. Timu always has like the weird stuff because it's like made in Asia where like English words are like decorative.
Mm-hmm.
So like it'll
Yep.
just say words that are like that's you did not like nobody stopped to think about what that sounds like when you put those together.
Oh, I love Temu because like it's just I like to just browse, but I hate all the spam that it does. I'm like, get out of my way. I don't want to do your contest. But
I know.
like
Yeah.
I look I look at their things and it's like you just have the randomest stuff. I go, do they have this? Like I looked up not because I'm doing van life, but if I wanted to do van life, they have the stuff that you can use for the drawer system and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, like like how did they have that? I don't know. Sorry, I also like Harbor Freight tools too, though, so I'm
I
weird.
fucking love Harbor Freight.
Oh yeah, like I'm so entertained by it. I love going in there.
But okay, so there is this I I have this like part of my personality. The joke that I make is that like my inner child is just a 14-year-old boy. Like
Maybe myself too. I might be on your boat too.
like if I
That
can
sounds.
blow it up, like if I can make sparks with it or whatever, like that kind of shit. I love power tools. Just for funsies. Like I learned how to weld because I was like, that's fun.
Oh, see, I haven't done welding before.
It's magic.
I'm the
It
person that defaults, like if I'm in a retail store, I'm the person that defaults to doing things if somebody that doesn't love it is there. If somebody that like loves to do tools and stuff like that, have at it. But I'm like the second choice usually, like you can do it, you just don't love it. Like kind of thing.
oh, let me I was gonna try. It won't let me mod you from here.
Do you know defluke? Do you know defluke? Is that how you say it?
I think
Defluke.
you know Defluke also. I'm pretty
I
sure I
know
know who that is.
defluke on his alt or her alt,
Uh,
their alt.
if let's see, change up. Yeah, here. Yeah, that's who I thought you were.
Oh, side
It's
note,
Andy.
Christy Nome is in my city right now, San Diego, visiting Otay Mesa's facility, which is a holding facility for um, undocumented immigrants, giving a
Hey,
speech
Taco Bro.
about blocking drugs. We're always blocking drugs. That's not new. Like, we're always fighting drugs. Like, that's not new.
Hello, hello,
Hello, cycle of
hello.
growth.
Add this one to my watch list. Okay. Should we watch it now?
Is it
I don't know
marked
if you
safe?
copy it. I kind
Excuse
of
me for
trust.
burping.
I mostly trust Sandy.
John's in the house did the interview with Sobriety Bestie. No, that's the one for Dare. Okay.
Shoot. Oh, hey, John. Howdy, howdy. He's the one who did the interview with Sobriety Bestie that I reacted to like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We did. There was a couple
Oh,
weeks. You were
oh,
sick.
nice.
It was while you were sick. But welcome,
Sorry,
welcome.
I
Thank you
missed
so
it.
much for coming by.
Hello.
Hi, John. Hi, John. Everybody go sub to his channel if you have not.
That's cool. How did you know you reviewed it? Like, did it show up like on a tag? That's cool.
I don't know. Yeah. I I did like I tagged both of them because they had their channels. I wanted to like give you guys links and everything. So maybe
Right.
that's the algorithm knew that way.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
Okay.
That's cool though.
Yeah. So yeah, today we are comparing the bite model. This is a little bit more of an informal hang, and you are welcome to join. Don't feel obligated or anything like that. But it is the pinned comment for right now. And then if it gets too crowded, I will remove the pinned comment. But it is open for the time being. Frankly, I want to really badly go to hear what my county is doing with all the Oxy funds, but I shake just thinking about it. I know I'll blow my cool. Yeah. I I'm concerned about the opioid crisis and the way that we're handling it. It doesn't seem like we're doing a good job of it in general. And it seems like other parts of the world have studied how to deal with this, and we just don't want to listen. That's the really frustrating part to me. Using Christian nonprofits to like bring in the money. Because to be fair, if we're using like Christian money for like to fight the war on opioids, like I'm kind of okay with that, depending on how they do it. Because I feel like me and the Christians have in common that we don't want people to be on drugs, on opioids in particular, long term, abusing them. But yeah. Thought control focuses on psychological techniques used by such groups to shape beliefs and attitudes, suppressing critical thinking and promoting conformity. Emotional control explores how manipulative organizations manipulate emotions, fostering dependency and loyalty through love bombing, guilt, and fear-based indoctrination. Does that sound familiar?
Yes. The love bombing thing is like really huge and profound. That's actually quite noticeable in pretty much every church. Um, and especially if you hit, so in order for a Protestant church to survive and actually flourish, like they use like they look for 30s. 30s is the sweet spot. If they can get somebody in their 30s with kids, 30s married with kids, you're going to be locked in for a few years and you're going to probably donate. And like that's a target. I wonder if
And
AA
you're gonna have
kind of has
kids.
a target model. What's that?
And they're gonna have kids. When it comes to religion, they're gonna like reproduce in the
Right, right.
now in AA, we're supposed to push our family members to like go to Al-Anon. I don't think that is as much of a recruiting thing as they think it is. It's more just like they will convince everybody that they're a drug addict or an alcoholic at this point. It seems like.
It's tough because a lot of people that do turn to alcohol and then it becomes like an addiction, like there are other factors that kind of push us to these things, like maybe abusive family members or maybe very unhealthy positions that were put in, maybe emotional abuse or whatever. So like Al-Anon might be able to help some of that just a little bit, but again, it's another group that doesn't have a therapist in charge
Right.
where other people, just randos, are giving advice. That's, yeah.
It's not, and in some cases there are therapists that are like AA therapists, but it usually seems like they did AA first and then like maybe they were therapists who like went to AA, but it was like a separate thing first and then they combined it with their practice. It doesn't seem like it's like they don't teach AA in like school. It's just kind of a thing that they throw on from what I understand. Again, I haven't been to school for that, so I don't know. But I have talked to a few people who are like close to graduating with their masters, like who are becoming therapists, and they're like, yeah, they just don't teach them anything about it.
I have a confession.
What's your confession?
When I
We
worked in
are
church, they made,
This is
what's that?
public. I'm just warning you.
It's not that serious. But when I worked in church, we signed a covenant. I love these like buzzwords. And we couldn't drink while we worked in church ministry because they thought, well, they're misapplying the word where like if you give the hint of sin, cause your brother to stumble or whatever. But anyway, so they said like, oh, they don't know if it's your first or your third or your fifth. They don't know. And so they said no drinking at all because of that. It was a really dumb excuse because the denomination itself didn't have problems with it, but the pastor made that random rule. And I don't know, I followed it for a while and then like after a few years, I decided I wanted a beer with my pizza. And then of course, the one time I break the rule, one of my high schoolers goes by because it was like a pizza place, not like a bar, goes by and sees that I have a beer, talks to me, and then reports it to my senior pastor. Reported it to my senior
No
pastor, and I got in
way.
trouble. Yes, yes. Dun dun
That's
dun. And I had only one beer. Like that's the funny part.
it always happens like that though. Like what is that Murphy's Law? Like
Right? Gosh, if I'm gonna get in trouble, I better do something really bad.
Was this a small town?
No, this is San Diego.
No way.
It's just that's my luck.
I was like, maybe Spackle lived in a small town there for a while and I missed.
There's a few million people that live here. Of course, I run into one of my high schoolers.
That's okay. So that happens like here a little bit. This is not a small town here. It happens all the time in the town that I grew up in. But that's like to be expected when there's 300 people who live in your town.
Right.
But
That's one of the things I like about a big city is you're a little more anonymous. Like there's a chance you'll run into somebody that you might know, but there's a huge chance you won't. You know?
like, I mean, apparently, like you can though. I don't know. That would
Yeah.
that would be so weird. Be like, are you fucking stalking me? Like,
I know. Dun, dun, dun.
so did they regulate your physical reality?
What does that mean?
This is control of your behavior, right? So like they dictate where you go,
Well, yeah.
what spaces you're in.
Yeah, I
This
wasn't allowed
sounds
to go
like
to
very much
bars.
like you can't drink alcohol at all. That sounds like
Like,
behavior control.
like if somebody saw me
How do you get
walking out of
this?
F Street, which is our local sex store, like they would be like, "Oh my God!" like, like I'm just trying to think here. I mean, that's like kind of funny stuff, but like, um, yeah, like they did regulate behavior quite a bit. It's always in a sliding scale, though. You know what I mean? Like it's a sliding scale.
Should we give all of these like a 1 to 10? I'm thinking we rate them. Like compare your church to the 12 steps.
Physical control, put it at a 5. Behavior control 5,
Regulate
maybe.
your they regulate your physical reality. That sounds okay. So they don't tell you where to live, right?
No.
Okay. Did they tell you who you can live with?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Could you like if you were an unwed woman, would you be like removed from your job if you lived with a man kind of thing?
Yes. Or I'll give you an example. So like, I'm bisexual and then something happened, pushed the gun to shove, and I was too honest with my pastor and said I am bisexual, but I don't at the time. At the time I was like, I live a straight lifestyle, like because blah blah blah, whatever. You know how it is. It's church people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've changed quite a bit, but this is years ago.
Live a straight lifestyle. I'm making fun of the church, not you. Like,
And a good friend of mine lived pretty far, and I have driving anxiety even back then. And it was just far, and I didn't want to drive in the dark, so I stayed the night. It was a girlfriend, just stayed the night. I slept on the couch with her psycho cat Armosa, who was fierce and was like, "Rawr!" It was like most feral cat ever. And most cats like me, but this cat was feral, and it would literally
even the
and
feral ones like
and
me. Usually the feral ones are the ones that like me, weirdly enough.
yeah, it would sit there and just kind of glare at me like, "What are you doing on my couch?" Like, and anyway,
Yeah, it's like his couch.
the pastor brought me in, and I call it the gay inquisition, where they were wondering if something was happening.
Did you get feelings in your loins?
No, no, I didn't, but I was angry, and I was angry that I was being confronted and stuff like that after following all the
Yeah.
dumb fucking rules. And then I was like, I was listening to my pastor talk, and I tend to fiddle and fidget with things. So if you give me a pen, I'm probably going to start like twirling it. And so I was doing that, but then she made me so angry that I accidentally clenched and like I broke the pen in my hand. And so like it was dripping like ink all over. So I'm obviously in a rage. I'm just trying to hide it. like, like, oh, it's terrible. Like there's more to that story, but like it was just terrible. I was so mad. And like the weird thing is like I was like super innocent. Like, and I was like not that like same sex attraction is bad, but like how churches are. And like the church that I was at was sort of like divided in half on the issue, unfortunately. And they weren't very warm to leadership being that way. So
That makes sense. So I'm gonna say I also would give AA like the 5 on this. I'm gonna give them the same score because AA is like more controlling in different ways, but less controlling in like the like sexuality way and stuff like that, you know?
yeah.
But more controlling and like we had curfews and stuff like that. And like we had to
Yeah,
like
like
go
my
to
pastor used to say nothing that good happens after 1 p.m. or 1 a.m.
you know, I come up with my own version of that as an adult. And it's not 1 a.m., but some of y'all know. Here's my philosophy. Up till 3:30, okay, you were out late. Up at 4:35, damn, you're up early. That's respectable. But if you are awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, what the fuck is wrong with you? I want to know. Because there is something wrong with you. I just want to know what it is. That's my philosophy on that. Like I am judging you, but like also I want to know more.
Up all night. Ooh.
I'm just saying. You get where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah, well, I get like sleep drunk after a while. And I mean, as somebody that was a youth leader for years and years, you do these overnighters with these kids, and like even back then when I had more energy, I was like sleep drunk. By the time it hit like maybe 2, you know, I'm not the best functioning adult anymore.
Yeah, like after like 2. Yeah. If Lou says, well, when I was up every day at 4 a.m., it was pain that woke me up. Exactly. That's what the fuck was wrong with you. Like that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm judging you less now that I understand. But before I knew that, like what the fuck is wrong with you? Explain to me what the fuck is wrong with you.
Usually
Now
if I have
I'm
like a little insomnia, it's to fall asleep, not about that time. Yeah.
and now I have a little bit more understanding of you as a person. That you're somebody who's dealt with chronic pain that fucking wakes you up at night.
Sometimes sleep is all you want when you hurt too, because that's what you really want. And of course, if it eludes you, it's like the worst.
Tell me about it. I have this thing with my sleep. You've heard me talk about it. I I don't know how it's gonna be when I travel, but we'll see. I can deal with it in different ways. The thing is that I will wake up and I just like need to cool down. It's like a hot flash, but it like lasts until I like get a chill
Oh, so
or
you have to
fully wake
actually
up.
get cold to regulate?
I have to like get like where I'm like shivering
Oh, wow.
or fully wake up.
I guess a cold shower could do that, maybe.
No, because then then I like am wet and that is like awful.
What if you do a
Then I'm
cold shower
awake
and
and I
then
won't be able to get back to sleep.
if you put your hair like in like a shower cap
I don't need like the
and
shock. I just need to get cold. So like I can go stand in front of the refrigerator. It's fucking February. I can go stand out on the back porch and slowly get cold in the as opposed to like a shock of a fucking ice bath. I don't need
well,
ice.
that's true.
I don't
You're
need to
like in a
wake up.
freezing area. I
I don't
forget
need to
that you're in a
wake
freezing
up.
area and I'm not. Like you could step outside here and you'd be like, I'm still I'm
It
still hot.
sucks in the summertime. It sucked in England. I would just like go and like lay on the floor for a little bit. Like,
Oh,
but
another way to cool down is you can put ice on an artery. That can help sometimes.
I have ice packs in the summertime. But like I actually have like specific places where I put there's like one that I'll like because I usually sleep in a sports bra and I'll like stick it in the back like like the band of the back of it. So it's like a racerback.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll usually do that and then stick one like down the back of like my underpants. Like not be weird, but yeah, I'll do that, and then that'll be enough sometimes that I can get back to sleep.
She's
But I have to
cold
like
as
have these
ice.
things
She
that I
has
do.
ice in her underpants.
I have ice in my underpants. But yeah, I have to like learn to like do these things also like on automatic because again, if I like wake myself up while I'm doing this, then like I'm fucked and then I'm just awake. This is like 3 o'clock, 4 in the morning every night.
I do like a wake up at 3 a.m. a lot. I don't know what it is about 3 a.m. I think it's a sleep cycle break.
That's what I'm saying. If you're awake at that time, something's up.
It's
Nobody
the
wants
witching
to be
hour.
awake. Nobody wants to be awake. All right, so we're tied right now. Dictate where, how, when, with whom the member lives, associates, or isolates. And again, I feel like that's kind of like we talked about that. Is we're both kind of at a 5 on that one. Maybe a 6 for you. Well, see, we didn't necessarily have to live in a recovery house, but it was strongly encouraged, so it's hard to say. Yeah. Again, that's easily explained. Yeah. They woke you up. Now, getting up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, like I said, that's commendable. That's an early start to the day.
Waking up prisoners at 4 a.m. just sounds like torture. That's messed up.
My guess was that, and I could be wrong about this, Sandy, correct us. My my guess would be like if there's like a certain number of people that like need to get through the mess hall, that they probably have to start early.
Oh, that's true, maybe. Yeah.
So that, they have time between breakfast and lunch and dinner and shit. But yeah, that seems awful. But now when I went to I went to nail school, not like a huge long time, but it was like 5 months of nail school. And I did have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning for that shit. Because we were required to have a full face of makeup and it was like over an hour away. And it was like morning traffic. So
Oh, yeah.
but that was in our school. Talk about fuck no, it wasn't really a cult, but they did have like really weirdly strict dress codes where it was like we had to have a full face of makeup on every day because it was like a cosmetology school. And
People will judge you.
that is what cured me of actually wearing fucking makeup every day. Like of feeling the need to wear makeup every day. Like I went through that shit. Yeah, I'm fine going barefaced.
I don't
It's
like
what
putting
I'm
a lot of
back.
makeup. Feels like I'm
Yeah, I
it's
learned the joy of not
uncomfortable.
wearing makeup. Now I do I this is the one thing that I probably would do on stream is my eyebrows because they're so light, especially now they're like kind of disappearing, the ends of them. Whereas like this is like really fucking bushy right now because like whatever, but you can't see it. It looks gone, you know. So sometimes they pencil that shit in. That's about that's about all I do as far as like making this shit up anymore. Sorry, can't be ours. I had to get. Ooh, 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 ooh. I missed it. There we go. I had to get over feeling guilty for getting up after the sun breaks the ridge. Oh yeah, get the fuck over that. Yeah, my dad was like one of those where he was like, "Get up before the sun." Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. If you're not a
Yeah,
morning
and
person,
I'm like, get
sorry.
up when the sun is up, not before.
In the wintertime, personally, now that I'm like a little bit more grown, I like to get up before the sun because I like to get as much sunlight as I possibly can during the winter time. But like that's personal preference. That's not I'm not going to dictate that to all of y'all. So you're a 5 on number 2? You're still a 5 on number 2?
What was the number 2 again? Sorry.
Where, how, and with whom the member lives and associates or isolates.
Yeah, I'd say that's a 5 for sure.
You're 5?
Yeah, I put it in the middle. Like it's not super extreme, but like if you decided to break the rules, I mean, it would get really wild really quick.
Because I would say ours was a 6. It really was like, it wasn't necessarily required, but it was like strongly encouraged. You would get like side eye. Bite,
What
four-factor
I got,
authentication. We are. That's what
what
we're
I
doing. We're authenticating the cults.
what I got out of the church was
Like,
like bisexuals are not to be trusted no matter what. That's what I got out of the church.
see, I think that's coming later because you're talking about like your brain being bisexual.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. When, how, and with whom member has sex, I would say for you is a little bit higher than probably us. It's like, okay, not anybody who's like actively using or drinking, but also like I don't like if they were, they just wanted you to like bring them in. There was like a weird
So
thing about it because there was also like you have to have like a year of sobriety, but then they would like lie about that. It was now that I'm thinking about it, it might be higher.
so church is very sex controlled. So like if you're married, like there's a percentage of people in church that think that if you're married, your wife cannot decline their husband. Like
Was that
that's
your
that's
church though? Was that something that
it.
was
It was one of my churches, yes.
okay?
It wasn't the one I worked in, but it was one I volunteered in. It was a Baptist church. The Baptist church took that stance, like your duty as your wife is to give it up whenever your husband wants to, unless you're ill.
That's so fucked up. So
And I just think that sex as a chore sounds like a bad idea.
you would put that one pretty high for you for the church. You would say for number
Oh
3.
yeah, I
Uh,
think they control sexuality quite a lot, like quite a
so
lot.
you would
Through
maybe a
shame,
9.
really. Yeah, so like the Methodist Church is divided in half on this stuff a lot. But like the Methodist Church is a lot more like Methodist Church I'd rate
Yeah.
like a 5 probably. But Baptist I put a 9 on.
Okay. We're rating both of them then?
It's just my experience, I guess. Like I was thinking of both of them real quick.
Are they both 5s on the first 2?
Yeah, I'd put them in the same ballpark in that way.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I'm keeping um so again, for AA it's not even necessarily so much about like who we have sex with. It's just like who we are with. But it does seem like it's like a larger amount of people that are like forbidden that we can't have sex with anybody who's having substances. But it also wasn't like super I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm giving it a 6.
So
We need John to come back. John, come back. Tell me what you're
it's hard. It's hard to say don't have sex with somebody that doesn't use like that uses any substance.
right.
Like if they're not an addict, like why does that count?
I'm gonna switch this microphone really quick because I am out of hot chocolate and I need more hot chocolate. And I'm sorry.
Hot chocolate.
We can keep talking about this while I go to get hot chocolate. It's just I have to switch.
This is the hot chocolate break. Go to the kitchen, get your hot chocolate.
Right. Anybody else, if you need your hot chocolate right now is the time for the hot chocolate. But you can read the screen to me. So we're on number 4 now, right? I'll
I
go
can't
ahead.
read the screen because I'm on the TV right now, so I can't see that
Oh,
really
okay.
clearly.
So controls
Sorry about that.
types of clothing and hairstyles. You can still hear me, right?
Gotta be modest.
I was thinking that you would be higher on this one than I would, or your cult would be higher on this one than mine.
I'd say both churches were really high on that. So like they're The Methodist Church is looser if you're just an attender, but if you work in church, it turns into a 9 real quick. Um, and then Baptist is like a 9 for everybody. Maybe a 10. It depends.
Yeah, like Baptists are kind of very strict.
So like I'm in
Seems
this
like.
like, surfer area,
What?
right? There's tons of like it's
What's the
not
rules?
usually
Tell us the rules.
it's not uncommon for like people to wear jeans to church here because like it's like a surfer area, right? Like it's like chill and you can blame Calvary Chapel for that or whatever, but um like like I wore jeans one Sunday and I got yelled at by one of our students' dads because he said, "How can you be a good example if you're wearing jeans?"
Really?
And I was like, "What?" Like,
That's wild. My
but
church was never
really
like that. We weren't like that
they
at
were
all.
obsessed with modesty, like any sort of cleavage or anything that had it down to cleavage but wasn't quite there, or anything that was too short. Like they didn't like girls to be in anything like shorter than Bermuda shorts. Like it was, it was pretty strict that way. Um, and if you wore something that they had an issue with, you would definitely be taken aside by another lady who would be like the enforcer.
The flip says, well, maybe 10. My 10 is because dad took us to the Baptist church 3 or 4 times a week. Yeah. Sounds like the
And
Baptists are like serious about it. So I'm gonna
And men don't get
like,
the talking to as much as women do, because like they put the onus on women that were sexual stumbling blocks to the poor men. Men just can't help themselves. They have a wing that just does whatever it wants to. So we have to not be a stumbling block to our brothers in Christ. So because all they
um,
could see is two cantaloupes together or your ankle, and boy, boom.
so what? So for the Baptist of 10, then we're gonna go 10 on the Baptist. What's
You know what
for
they said
your
about
other church?
Baptists? Sex leads to dancing. That's what the Baptists believe. Um, the the other church, it's really like low if you're a an attender. Like if you were an attender, I would say you're like at a 4 or something, maybe a 3. But if you work in ministry, it suddenly turns into a 9 and 8, somewhere around there.
What do you want me to put on the list?
We'll be kind of lean on that, say an 8.
Okay. Okay. So I would say it's not a 0 because it was like we weren't allowed to wear anything with like messaging that was alcohol related. I was gonna say drug related, but like the shirt, like the undershirt that I'm wearing, like they'd be fine with that. Um,
So no Budweiser shirt.
no Budweiser shirt, no like the like the frogs that were the psychedelic frogs or like
Budweiser.
like
No
not the
shroom
Budweiser
shirts.
frogs. Right, like no shrooms, no like um any like basically references to drugs. Except for like this would be fine. You know, that's fine.
What's that say?
Uh
Long live?
Long live Cowboys.
Okay.
I know it's awful. I love it. Um I quit wearing it for a while, but you know what? Don't care anymore. Um yeah, that kind of shit is fine. Sugar's fine, caffeine's fine, but if we reference specific drugs, those are bad. But it also there wasn't like a you can't wear a certain amount of like revealing shit. Like you're totally
Yeah.
allowed to like have your ass hanging out. Like that's totally fine. So I don't know if I would say like a 1, I guess. Just like a 1. 1, maybe a 2.
It's just not their focus.
Yeah. Okay. So you're like 10 points ahead of me already,
So
but
all
that's
of a
okay.
sudden now we're like, church is cultier than AA.
That's I mean, Well, yeah, I mean, your Baptist church in particular. Regulate diet food, drink, hunger, and or fasting.
Well, definitely drinking and things like that.
Yeah, you weren't allowed to drink it like at all. I'm
They
assuming you
didn't
weren't allowed to
encourage
go to
us
drugs.
to fast, but fasting was not required.
Okay. There were like programs that were specific programs that if you wanted to, you could do like with like the wellness gurus or whatever. Um, but again, I don't think it was really their focus. They fed us coffee. You were kind of weird if you didn't want the shitty coffee. We already talked about that. Um,
I don't
Trying to
know where to put
remember.
this exactly because like they were tied on substances, but not on like whether you ate beef or not, or if you were vegetarian or not. They didn't care.
Same. Same. Yeah. They
I'll
didn't
put
give
this
a
at a
fuck about.
three because it's not really substance focused. It's more like diet focused, I think.
Okay. So we got threes across the board.
I think so.
Okay. Manipulation and deprivation of sleep.
Is it manipulation, comma, and then deprivation of sleep, or are
No,
they connected?
it does not have any punctuation in this particular listing.
Manipulation, yes, but not like deprivation of sleep, no.
That's kind of what I was thinking for the 12 steps also. We had like in recovery houses there was always like a curfew. Um Now come to think of it though, actually, because some of them were like they wanted you to go to meetings until like 10, 11 o'clock at night
Oh,
and
that's way too
then
late. Ugh, ugh. I like to go to bed
drink
at 9:30
coffee.
now.
And then you're supposed to drink coffee while you're there, like
What on earth?
full. Exactly.
Not all of us are ADHD where coffee actually relaxes us, okay? So like some of us, some of us.
Yeah. And they would do that shit. And I feel like those were like not my groups. I was like, I can't fucking do this shit. And I was good about like regulating which groups I went to and which groups I didn't. But I think that that was more of just like a me not getting along with like the whole idea of groupthink versus the groups not presenting that because I didn't go to like the super quote unquote popular groups around here. It's okay. It's nothing.
What happened?
Oh, my phone. That noise was my phone, but I
Oh,
checked it. It's fine.
okay. It went a little robot, so I was like, what happened?
Yeah, we're looking at the bite model, which is basically a conceptual framework used to analyze patterns of influence and control. Yeah. They use it so in the US they use it to analyze high control groups within the legal system to find like people culpable of abuse. Financial exploitation, manipulation, or dependence. Oh wait, we didn't give a score for number 6, did we? Because we said threes across the board for 5. Ooh, we'll have to look at that one next time. I should write this down.
Oh,
Robert Lifton's 8 criteria of thought reform.
huh. I have not heard of that.
Neither have I, but I'm interested to look further into it, and I will save it right here. Hopefully, I don't lose that sticky note. But yeah, scores for 6. What scores do you have for number 6?
Can you reread it again? I'm sorry.
Manipulation and deprivation of sleep. Sorry.
It's like a 0. The way it's worded is a 0.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
I would not like to be coerced into a meeting at like 11 at night. It would not really fare well for me.
There was a lot of times where it was like I ended up like staying up all night because I was up too late to like be able to go to sleep to like get, you know what I mean? Sorry.
I don't like that.
Yeah. But it was a lot of that was like if your sleep schedule happened to work in the weird way of their shit, then like you probably would be okay. So for some people, it maybe wasn't that manipulative, and that's why I'm keeping it low with a 2. Yours was a 0.
Yeah, like that, like, yeah.
Okay. Next, we have number 7, financial exploitation, comma, manipulation or dependence. And I'm assuming it's missing an Oxford comma after manipulation.
So both churches encourage you to tithe 10% of your income. And you can debate if that's before or after taxes. That was always a debate. And the only way that they would like hold you to that more was again if you were in church leadership. Suddenly it would jump from like a 4 to like a 8
Okay.
responsibility.
Okay. By the way, GeoSam says that Robert Lifton's idea is from the 60s, whereas Hassan's bite model is from the 80s. Yeah. I did not know that about the Lifton model, the Lifton idea. Where's my money, bitch? Yeah, I would say like AA wasn't as strict about like you didn't have to be giving as much of like you should be. There was somewhat of a push to be putting something in the pot, but it wasn't, especially certainly not for newcomers. For people who had been there for a while, it was kind of expected that it was like, we've given something to you, now you give something back. And I had a tendency to like piss people off by just like whenever there was shit that like needed to be bought for the group, I would just like buy the shit for the group and it'd be like, that's my donation. And like they didn't like that. That would piss them off. They wanted just cash. And I don't know who's in charge of the cash. I don't know. Like there was a treasurer person, but I don't think that they were necessarily like the one who like kept, you know what I mean? I feel like there was enough manipulation in those groups where like money could disappear and we wouldn't necessarily know about it. But I wouldn't say that they were like financially they made us like buy books was really kind of the annoying part of it. That you were really pressured. I was really pressured for like this one. This is like an expensive fucking book, right? Like this one somebody gave me. I'm sure that
This is
the
Latin.
person what? I missed what you said. but someone gave me this one. And like I can only imagine that they were probably like pressured into like buying this for like multiple people that are like, "Hey, do you know anybody in your life that has worked the steps?" Like cuz they should get one of these too. Like
Oh my gosh, it's a chick track.
I mean, it is a
Pass
cute
out
little
this
book.
track. Do you see this,
It's
Cliff? This is you.
like is, but like this, like I mean, these are not cheap books. If you were somebody who like did any of the readings at the meetings, which again, you're encouraged to do the readings at the meetings, but then you're also encouraged once you do that to like have the like basically if you don't have a JFT, they don't want you doing the JFT reading. You should already have done the JFT on your own time in the morning when you woke up before the meeting, before you're reading it for the second time in front of the group. Like that kind of shit.
Like a quiet time. Like a quiet time.
I mean, it is like that is like the original idea of the JFT, but like also like why do we have to do it twice? If we know that we're going to do it later, why don't we just like reflect on it in the group?
Yeah.
But like that kind of stuff. You get what I'm saying? It's that type of manipulation.
Yeah.
If you know addicts who can't get a big book, then like you're encouraged to like buy them a big book. It's just like it's not no money manipulation, but I would say it's probably not as bad as the church. I don't know. It's a 2 maybe. What were your scores?
I'm gonna lower it a little bit because it's like you were required to like tithe, but they didn't always catch you for not tithing sometimes. So I'm gonna lower it down to like a 7.
Okay. For both of them?
Yeah, I'd put them both the same.
Okay.
Question. Let's say you're in an AA meeting and you decide, oh, fuck this shit, but you don't want to make a scene, so you just get up and leave. Will somebody try to stop you?
It depends on the group.
Okay. That's always a
That
red flag to me.
it really would depend on the group. A lot of groups would just let you go. If you're not somebody who is like known in the group, if you've never like shared or anything like that, they might just let you go. Like most of them might just easily let you go. There are some where I think that like especially if you were like somebody that they knew in the group, they'd be like, "What's going on?" They just wouldn't get up in your shit, you know. They wouldn't typically like chase you out. Now they'll judge you out in the community afterwards. Fun shit.
I
Um,
came to like the notion that like for the longest time I didn't see it at the time when I was in it, as a kid. But the Baptist church particularly would partner up with even Pentecostal sometimes with different things. And you can kind of see it now with like Turning Point USA and stuff like that, like the fruition of this sort of stuff. That like see you at the pole prayer rally where you go to your school and you pray around the flag, like it's some giant statement because we're so oppressed as Christians.
yeah.
Like there was always this constant pitting us against the world and that we're just so oppressed and we need to pray for them and we need to spread the gospel. And more that I look at it, it was all Christian nationalism. It just was dressed up in moderate uh, church language.
Yeah.
You ever
It's
like
all
leave a place and you realize like, oh, well, that really was aiming for something different than what they were like telling you, kind of thing.
yeah. I so the thing was that we were always just like turn off your brain. we weren't encouraged to think. In fact, I was actively discouraged from thinking.
I got in trouble for bringing up theological questions when I was
I
in middle
always
school.
I would always get in trouble for, like, cross-talking was, like, the thing that I would get in trouble for, like
Yeah,
because okay, the thing is that, like, you're not allowed to, like so, like, you have your share time, and then that's the end of your share time, and the idea is that you're not supposed to be like, "Well, in response to that, here's blah, blah, blah."
right.
But, like, it's gonna, like, make you think of shit, and people are fucking, like, gonna do it anyway, or they'll, like, hint at shit, you know what I mean? So, like, if you're gonna fucking say that shit to me, like, I'm gonna fucking say it back at you, and I'm gonna make it even more obvious. You're gonna get in trouble. Or, like, just that kinda shit where it's just like, I don't know what you fucking want from me, like, do you want me to, like, not share? But they didn't want that. They,
I
like
don't know. Like I said, like I didn't do very well in group therapy for some reason. So
yeah, I don't they didn't like my shares. I don't know why.
you weren't hardcore enough. Like the problem is you probably actually didn't belong there. That's the problem. Like,
That's what I thought when I first got out. Like, that was for, like, the longest time I was like, "Okay, like, I guess I just, like, wasn't an addict," and I still had the conditioning for, like, the longest time, and it wasn't until, like, I learned that there were, like, other programs that had far better chances of recovery than AA that I was like, "Wait, what? You mean you mean jails, institutions, and death is a lie?"
jail's institution of death.
No crosstalk. Exactly. I mean, that's what they like to do, though. They definitely like to stand on a soapbox and not get any feedback, because if they got feedback, then that would, like, break their little idea that they have. It's so frustrating. But yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't want any negative feedback like that doesn't work. Like, what do you mean it doesn't work?
And that's I think usually the kind of stuff that I would kind of get in trouble for, where I would be like, "Oh, like, somebody suggested that I try this, and then, like, that didn't work," or, like, somebody suggested that I or, like, stuff in, like and not even, like, necessarily, like, in recovery, but just, like, shit that was like, "I'm not feeling connected to this. I'm not having my working my 5th step is, difficult in this aspect," and, like, their advice didn't necessarily work. They didn't like that. Fluke says, "I did go to enough meetings in my camp to understand what was going on, but I only did that to get out of the housing unit." That's exactly when I first went, I was locked up. That's where they
The
get
book
you.
was locked up?
I was locked up.
Oh, you were
My
locked up.
very first AA and NA meeting, both of them were when I was in jail,
Oh,
and it was bad weather, and in Missouri, they don't let you out in the yard if it's bad weather, and I was in the same it's not even like a cell, it's like 4 cells all together, it's like a cell block, and it was just the same 4 walls for days and days and days, and they were like, "Hey, do you wanna go to, like, 12-step meeting?" And I qualified because I had been arrested for a drug arrest. And they're like, "Yeah, you can go." And I had to, like, one of the other people who went to the AA meeting had to be like, "Yo, like, she wants to go." And then I got cleared to go. 'Cause I was just so sick of sitting there.
you had to be vouched for too. You can't just go.
They don't they don't just say like, "Hey, whoever wants to go, whatever, like, fill out this paperwork." They just say like, "Hey," like, the addicts like, the people who are in the program just know that it's at such and such time. And I'm assuming that at some point they did, like, announce this, that they were coming at such and such a time. But it's the outreach program from this one particular group, and they came, And there was another, like I said, another girl in the cell block that was like, "Yo, she wants to come with us." And then I got to go. They were like, "Okay, you got a drug arrest, so you're fine. You can go." And then I'm imagining that like if you had a different arrest, then you could probably go if you like they maybe it was like a questionnaire or something like that. But they just let me go. And it was basically just to, like, fucking get out of the same fucking room. Oh, and there were like other people there because it wasn't just it was like rec when there's like other people at rec, you know? And they're like, "You're an addict." And the fact that you got arrested and you're here is proof that you're an addict.
Jail's institution of death.
Yeah. Yes, you're exactly right. They love the ego supply that they get from their soapbox. They get to poo-poo their ego while boosting their ego. Oh, what did I miss? You're angry? What did I miss? Oh, bad coffee is better than no coffee. I mean, yeah. Yeah, the oxy stuff pisses me off. The oxy stuff still pisses me off. It's not 12 steps does not treat opioid addiction. Like opioid is like a substance use disorder. Like it's you need to be treating that from like a medical standpoint and then like from a habit reduction standpoint, not the 12 steps.
I mean, I would argue alcoholism's the same way. Alcohol, like,
Yeah.
alcohol's an awful one once you're dependent. Once you're physically dependent on it, it's awful.
Yeah. It's one of the worst. Yeah.
It's the one where if you try to quit cold turkey, it'll kill you.
Yeah. Well, oxy will too. There's a few other ones that will kill you. Like the withdrawal will kill you. And I know opioids and alcohol are two of them. But yeah, that's why like the serious rehab places will have the detox section. So number 8, restrict leisure, entertainment, vacation time. I'm wondering where you're at on this one compared to the 12
Leisure
steps.
and vacation time, not so much, but entertainment, they try to control a bit. Like, don't see R-rated movies.
Okay.
Don't listen to music that has so many F words or sexual connotations. Like Kanye was not very popular, which like I'm kind of glad I wasn't into Kanye, but or I'm just trying to think like there was a lot of music that was not very looked upon well. Heck, I got in trouble for Creed. I remember playing Creed of all things, right? Creed, like they're pretty much a Christian band. Like come on. And there's this song and it's like one of the Creed songs I actually like, I know, right? And yeah. And he goes, "They ain't here anymore. Um uh it's been a while since I've listened to it. They ain't here anymore. Time to don't need no goddamn score." And he's just talking about letting it go, right? You don't have to keep score, just let it go.
Yeah.
Like whatever, whoever, like, just like it's hurting you, let it go. And my pastor was so stuck on goddamn, like really stuck on it. And I'm like, most of this is like fairly Christian, like, and maybe God does want to damn the soul score, the score. Like I don't know why it was just so offensive. It was just funny.
I mean, yeah, maybe he does. That is funny. So I would say media, not so much control from the 12 steps. There was some like where we like shouldn't be watching stuff that like glorified drug use, but also there was like that like looking if it was drug use that was like gritty and like real, then it was like you know, that aspect of it. It was like remember how bad it was, or that kind of thing was still allowed. So I wouldn't say that like, oh, no gratuitous drug use, because like that was allowed, but it was like you had to have like a certain mind, and I don't think it's behavior control. I think that's like more thought control about the media, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
But
Right.
like you couldn't like go on like a girls trip if like your girlfriend was like getting married and she's having like a bachelorette trip. You couldn't do that because like there would be people who are drinking on that, unless it was like set to be like a sober event. We every year we had like a sober prom, because like there wasn't like we weren't allowed to do anything else basically.
Oh my gosh, that reminds me of Baptist banquet. So Baptists don't dance, right? So we had a senior banquet, like our church group. We had a very big church that we went to, and it was Baptist. And they wouldn't let us have a dance, like so we had a senior banquet where we just got dressed up and ate really bad food and acted all sophisticated, not. But like how
Oh,
boring.
gross. Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't like they wouldn't necessarily make you like have a like you were highly encouraged to have a plan before you go, of multiple meetings that you could hit every day while you were gone. But it wasn't like they wouldn't necessarily check up on you, because again, it's anonymous. But it was like you wanted to have a meeting that was like your plan to go like every day while you're away. You want to go to a meeting so that you're not like getting distracted by like whatever is on vacation, getting distracted from your recovery. And if, for instance, for some reason you don't click with that meeting, then like you want to have like a backup just in case that meeting gets canceled or that meeting gets, and like John was saying, like the plan vacations around where you can attend a meeting every day. Like it wasn't that was highly encouraged here. We weren't like required. You didn't have to like submit. Here's my itinerary before I go. You'll
Here's
see
the
me at these
clipboard of
meetings.
fun.
But yeah, there was, especially like back in the day, we had, and this is fun. Um, there was the AA website that is still there today, but it was not as sophisticated as it is now. And there was a lot of like meetings that were like would be listed on there, and you wouldn't necessarily know if it was like an up to date meeting. And so you'd have to like call, because it was like looked like the it looked like the orange papers. Like that was like the quality of the website back then was so bad. Um, and I remember like meetings would like change their times and stuff, and it wouldn't necessarily update. So you always had to like call and stuff. And that was back in the day when like everybody did call like landlines, and you call and it would be like somebody's recovery house. Or sometimes it would just be like the church. Like they would just put the number to the church and they'd be like, yeah, I think they still do that on Tuesdays. And you just like have to hope. It was good times.
So when you're in a smaller town, it's got to be a little bit stressful.
Yeah. Unless you know somebody there who's an alcoholic. Or like sometimes you could get somebody who, if you knew somebody in the town, you could get them to like ask around, like at church kind of thing. But yeah, it was a lot of word of mouth back in the day. Now it's easier for people. But yeah, I would just be like, fuck it. And I wouldn't do it. And then I would get in trouble. To be fair, I did get in trouble for that a lot. But like my parents were like 2 hours away. And I'm not gonna like I'm gonna go stay with my parents for 3 days. If I need a fucking group, I'll find, I'll drive 2 hours, but whatever. Plus, I was like trying to get everybody to go fucking Allen on anyway. It wasn't like I was doing anything wrong, but no, I was doing something wrong by not having a plan. Don't tell anyone about it. It's so silly, too. That's the thing, though, is it's supposed to be fucking anonymous, but they do want you to tell everyone about it. But don't use names. Don't name names. And what stays in these rooms, or what's said in these rooms, stays in these rooms.
But then you can run into these people in your professional life or something.
Yep. And you're supposed to act like you don't know them.
So true Alcoholics Anonymous has to be online. And even then, good luck being anonymous.
I think that it would be easier now with like it being on, like there being like Zoom meetings and stuff where you could just probably for a lot of meetings you're probably allowed to just have a profile picture.
What if you showed up to an AA meeting, but you had like one of those like bodysuits on, like and or like the hat part, and your face is all covered, and you're like, I just want to remain anonymous, but you have like a mask on. Like, what would they
Put on
do?
a
Would they kick you
balaclava.
out? Would they kick you out? They said anonymous.
I don't think that they would at ours. They would think that you were a little bit weird, or they would be like, "Yo, like you don't need to do that, and like you should be able to like trust all of us, even though you really shouldn't be able to trust them."
Like, what if I showed up with like a beard and like a hat and like some av like aviator glasses? Like, what are they gonna do? Well, like, I'll be
I
like,
think
hey,
that
you
they
guys
would
said
let you in.
anonymous.
I think that they would let you in. But yeah, they're once you're in, they're a little bit weird about shit. But I think they would let you in.
What if you brought a puppet that did the talking for you?
I think they would let you in.
I'm trying to see what boundaries they have.
I think that they would talk about you after the meeting a lot, and they would break their rule about keeping shit in the meeting. But
The fluke says, come on.
common.
Oh, common.
DeFluke says common. I mean, I think you could probably wear like a if you wore a COVID mask in aviators. What are they gonna say?
Come dressed like Thanos.
What are they gonna do? I don't. Yeah, I feel like these are getting like worse and like more serious, and like this AA isn't like about the behavior control so much. It's about the yes, that you can't go to Vegas. If you're gonna have a
Sin
wedding, like,
City.
it's all gonna be just AA people at your wedding, and, like, it's gonna be a sober wedding, and nobody's gonna be allowed to drink at your wedding.
A
If
Baptist wedding.
you basically,
No dancing, no
like, that
drinking.
kinda shit, no, you're allowed to dance. Um, a lot of, like, additional shit that you can do if you want to. Oh, like, optional shit. Like, you can, like, go to, like, the general conference. You can go to, sober prom. You can go on a pilgrimage to Bill's house that he was born in. You can go on a pilgrimage to Bill's grave, which is a few hundred miles away from Bill's house.
Ew.
Um, here's a picture of the house. It's the house
Oh
people still
my
like make
goodness.
pilgrimages there.
That is weird. So the pilgrimage thing's weird. That's over the top. Come on, guys.
People still do it in Vermont.
That's where you go. Religion? Question mark?
Yeah, religion. Um,
Yeah, the founder's house. Geo, Sam, the founder, Bill.
yes, yes. So I haven't been, but people will commonly go to the house that the founder was born in. There's also another house that's been preserved that is in Ohio that one of the other founding members of the Oxford group, which is the group that the AA is based off of, But so Bill and Dr. Bob met each other in AA, and they're the ones who wrote the big book. It's mostly Bill, but like Dr. Bob was his confidant.
Why do you have a QR code on your stream? I just realized that.
That is a link to Smart Recovery.
Oh,
If
okay.
if you need help um, getting off drugs and alcohol,
Nice.
absolutely scan the QR code. There's also links down in the description. Um, but yeah, that'll take you to a bunch of options. And yeah, that's what that. But yeah, people will make pilgrimages to their house, to their houses, to Bill's grave. It's good
That's
times.
weird.
That's what we do with our vacations. There's also general conference. I don't know if I mentioned that.
So
We
you
do
go to
that
a
like
hotel and you're like, rah, 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 sober, sober, sober.
it's not no. So like one of them was like they're usually like at like a big university. Like they'll rent out like part of the university and shit because it's like a huge like convention. Huge, massive. There's got to be pictures of some of them in here. I mean, it's supposed to be anonymous, but I'm sure there's pictures. Okay, well, I can't find any pictures right now, but I'm sure like they're huge. They're like these giant, massive, like sold out conference halls that you have like limited tickets and shit.
No, but I mean, you're going to go to this conference, right? So you're going to stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
You're going to meet
Well,
up with
so
people that you maybe don't normally see.
yes, a lot of times, yeah. Or sometimes you can get like depending on the location, you can get like when it's some of the like massive centers that they have like housing on where you sign up for housing with the conference. But yeah, same kind of concept where you're staying there with people who are also at the conference. It's good times. Lots of drugs.
Even there's not supposed to be drugs.
Yeah, of course.
It's sort of like how pastors go to a conference and then they're all in grinder.
Yeah, exactly. This it's like it's not obvious. Like if you're you know what I mean, but it's absolutely like it's people are out in the parking lot, people are like hush hush in somebody's hotel room, people are you know what I mean? It's like they say what is the thing about like the fastest way to like find some hard drugs is like to go to an NA meeting and look in the parking lot like
No, like almost every conference I was in, like as a youth person, when we had a conference, like there was some trouble to be had. And then anytime there was a conference for like for instance atheists, oh gosh, what's their name? Oh my gosh, Matt Dillahunty and Aaron Raw, their group, A ACA, is it? Atheist something. Well,
something
anyway, like
atheist conference
whenever
in
they
Boston.
whenever they have conferences, there's always some massive drama. Like everybody's sleeping with everybody, and then it turns out like somebody's like
Yeah,
complaining about consent or coercion, and it just like is so much like
that's
wild drama there. I mean, really terrible stuff. And I'm like, guys, like this would be solved if you just didn't have the Congress conference at all. Like just
no,
skip
can't have
that
that.
part.
Can't have that. This is a very good point. Normies in their eyes will either A, get us to relapse, quote unquote relapse, or call out the weird cultiness and lead a member away from the program. They'll be like, hey, fucking knock that shit off. And that's I told you about like I had one family member one time when I went home who like called that shit out about when I was like talking about the program and like they shut her down. They were like, why would you say that? What like this is like getting her clean. She's doing so much better. Like I wasn't, but I was like, fake it till you make it. So it looked like it. You know what I mean? But yeah, shut him down. Defleek says I'm not a normie. You're one of us. That means that
I
you're.
don't I don't understand normie like just like it's used in so many different ways and it's always an insult and I'm
I think
like
they
to the
just mean like a
point like
someone who doesn't work the steps.
oh well that's like almost everybody
Someone who, yeah,
including
someone
them.
who doesn't feel the need to work the steps doesn't have a problem with alcohol, like any type of substance abuse, is a normie. That's
And they
in
don't want you
okay.
to
So
hang out
in
with people like
AA,
that?
yes, that's the thing.
Oh, no wonder
Is
why.
there's normies, and then there's addicts and alcoholics. And if you're an addict and alcoholic, like if you have like true friends that really are like quote unquote normies, then they'll go to like Al-Anon meetings and then they'll be like one of us anyway. But if they are like they don't have any interest in going to fucking meetings for an addiction that they do not have,
Oh my gosh.
then they're like normies and we're not really supposed to associate with them.
That's stupid. That's culty.
Yeah. And that's like the fucked up shit about it. Right. We're not
Because
saying
who's
that
to
you
say a
are. We just
normie
know
is
you're
a
not
worse
normal.
influence than some of these backsliding alcoholics that have the worst advice ever? And I'm not saying like I'm just thinking in like the people that I knew that were giving some people that I know some advice, and it was really bad advice. Like,
Yes, exactly. Because their supposed authority comes from like maybe a year of sobriety that they maybe lied about. That's like, oh, okay, they had 20 years of like living on the street, living life as like, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't
mhm.
1 year of sobriety doesn't suddenly fucking undo that. But they act like it does. Another good point. I believe there isn't such a thing as an addict or an alcoholic. Forming habits is something every human does, some healthy, some unhealthy. Like I was saying earlier, this is when we're talking about like drug rehab, quote unquote. Yes, there are some substances where you have like a substance use disorder, right? Where you need to medically detox from these substances. And then you need to like go to therapy and work on like building some healthy habits and breaking some unhealthy habits. Exactly. Like, exactly.
So I've got story time kind of in a moment after you read that comment.
I don't do crack and meth anymore. I find there to be more benefits to not use those substances rather than use them. Exactly. It doesn't make you an addict. Exactly. You're just somebody who like used to use those things and used to find it enjoyable and then went, that's maybe a problem for me. But to them, if you've ever used a substance and ever had a problem with it, I remember being told if you drank alcohol once a year, but that once a year you felt uncomfortable afterwards, you're an alcoholic.
Oh, weird.
Yes, it's totally a cult. What were you saying, Spackle? The floor is
Oh,
yours.
the names of the people will be protected to protect the innocent. Um, so I had a friend who said he was going to kill himself, and so I rushed over to his house, and there was a note on the door, and he was an alcoholic, and so I rushed over, but also his sponsor had been called too, and his sponsor came over, and all that sponsor did was berate him and guilt him and go, "What are you doing? I can't believe you." Da 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 da. And I'm thinking like, shouldn't we just be getting him some help? Anyway, eventually the cops came because like people were involved, you know, like multiple people, and the cops came and took him for like observation. But like the big contributor to the like this whole like thing with the sponsor was like guilt. It was guilt. That was all. And I think for a suicidal person, guilt actually isn't a very good motivator. Not really.
Yeah, so
Uh,
guilt leads to shame. And that's usually their main tool from the 12 steps is shame. That's they will hit you with, and it is like it is more than guilt. It is this lingering sense of like you not only it, and to me, okay, it's like the difference between you're an asshole and that's an asshole move, right? If you tell
right.
somebody you're acting like an asshole, okay, like that's something that they did. That's not identifying them as a person. But you say you're an asshole, that's name calling. And to me that's a different line. And I know that
Right.
not everybody has the same lines as me, but like that's you get what I'm saying? We're telling people you're an addict. This is how you're identified. This is your name
This
tag
is
that
who
you
you
wear.
are. Yeah.
This is who you are. And you don't get to change that. And it's
It's like what I
shame.
hate. It's like what I hate about Ray Comfort. So like, I do believe in Jesus and stuff, but like I always hated how Ray Comfort would like walk up to somebody and go, um, like he's preaching like you're a sinner and you need Jesus, right? And so people go, oh, no, I'm not. And he'll go, have you ever told a lie? Well, then you're a liar. Have you ever stolen anything? Well, then you're a thief. And your whole identity now is this one thing. And I'm like, I don't think this stupid. And if you think God is this stupid, like, just, like,
But
he has
that's
no
how the
complexity whatsoever. Like,
if you've ever had a drink and had a problem with it, you're an alcoholic forever.
yeah,
You're labeled
and
that until you die.
and there is a big difference between behaviors and who you are, your identity. Um, and maybe your behaviors affect how people see you. Like bad behavior, from an addict is pretty traumatizing to the family and friends. It's a wrecking ball sometimes.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
but like,
Self-examine, like DeFluke was saying, self-examine.
yeah,
But like we don't need to be forcing people to carry around this sense of guilt and shame. And that's I feel so bad that you went through that. But yeah,
yeah.
childhood trauma, bullying, sense of unworthiness. Like that's Spackle knows like I went through some shit when I was a teenager. That was trauma. It's just straight up fucking trauma. And that was how I responded to it because my brain didn't know what to do. Also, I had kind of a weird reaction when this thing happened to me in that I didn't really react. Everybody kind of waited for me to sort of lose my shit very early on, and I didn't. And I just slowly withdrew from everybody and then went into myself and then in that started just using drugs to like sort of find myself, if that makes sense. But
And that's interesting.
it wasn't I wasn't an addict, quote unquote, in the sense that the 12 steps will tell you that I was. I was just a kid who's going through fucking trauma. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, so like a lot of people, it's like it's trauma and trauma affects your nervous system. It doesn't just affect your thoughts. It affects your whole nervous system. Like there's
Yes.
a book called The Body Keeps the Soul, or keeps the body keeps the
Score.
score. I keep flipping that word. Um, and like it's true. Like stress releases cortisol. Cortisol wreaks havoc on your body. A lot of women have chronic pain issues that are made worse by stress, if not caused by stress. And so like there's a lot of like, serious things that happen where it's like, I don't know, like I don't know. And then I think about like I've gone through some shit and I've had some pretty serious trauma and I didn't go to drugs and alcohol, but you know what I did do? I went to religion like almost like a zealot for a little while. Yeah.
Huh.
So I mean, choose your addiction, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, that's so you chose a group that took control of you I chose to let substances take control of me until I felt out of control with substances, and then I let another group take control of me. So it's kind of just a little meandering. You just went straight for the cult, you know? GeoSam says I'm not getting the sponsor stuff. Okay, so the idea with the sponsor is GeoSam that once you work the steps all the way through and have 12 months of sobriety / clean time, that you can then take on someone like a mentee type position where you are their mentor and you guide them through working the 12 steps. Now, I would very much argue that 12 months of clean time / sobriety, especially for somebody who has like decades and shit of being an active drug user and or alcoholic, I would say that they are not qualified to be guiding anybody else in their sobriety. But that is all that is required by the 12 steps for you to mentor somebody else as their sponsor. And then it's not just like a typical sponsor, like a typical mentor where it's like, oh, you maybe like consult with that person once a week and like they maybe give you some advice and if you like it, you follow it. It's their word is basically considered like the word of God and it is considered like an interpretation. Their interpretation of the big book is like the word of Jesus, basically. Oh my God, I just dropped my big book. It wasn't that loud because it's a tiny big book. But yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, I
I would
can't
argue
respect
that it
all
doesn't
that.
work.
I can't get
Sorry.
behind all that.
Yeah. Um, it doesn't work. Exactly. For the suicidal person, the guilt and shame is kryptonite. I believe that it does push many over the edge. I do believe that the
Yeah,
12 steps kill people. And I
yeah,
know
when
for you,
somebody, yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
very glad that you made it out alive. I'm just saying to this person who commented. This
Yeah,
is again, this is John's channel. If you guys don't know John, go follow his channel. He also went through this shit. It damn near killed him. And I'm so glad that he's here. I'm so glad that you're still alive and with us. Because absolutely the shit fucking kills people. Sorry, Speckle. I just saw that I had missed that one in the
yeah, like I said, it really angered me how the sponsor treated these the suicidal threat, basically, like very close, like, and it's like if somebody's standing on the edge of the bridge, you don't scream, you know, like, look what you're doing to your mother. Like, I don't really think that helps.
it really doesn't. When you're in that position, and I've been in that position, unfortunately, it's not it really isn't selfish. After having been there myself, and like trigger warning, I'm gonna talk a little bit about those feelings. Standing on the edge. So if you want to like mute for a minute or two, I'm just gonna go over it really quick. But after having been there and realizing that it is like such a feeling of like hopelessness and like if I had anything that I could do, if I could muster the energy for another person, I would. It would be easier to muster the energy for another person than it would be for me. It's not an act of selfishness, it's an act of there are no other options, and the weight and the guilt of that oftentimes makes it worse, makes it just that much heavier. And I don't think that we should be pushing people, "Oh, what are you gonna do to your family? What are you gonna do to the guilt people further when they are standing."
Because a lot of times, if they're dealing with addiction, they already well know that they're hurting their family just through the
Exactly.
addiction. So like they'll be like, "Well, I'll hurt them less when I'm gone." Like that's what they'll say.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it just isn't very helpful, and I don't know. I feel so angry at the weight that they put on these sponsors, like as if they're like a therapist. Like go to a therapist instead. Like skip the sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I think that therapy is gonna do a lot more for you. Um, it might be helpful to find a group that is a recovery group in the meantime, like, in that immediate sort of, like, needing that group camaraderie support type thing. I would say look for, like, a support group that's not a 12-step group. And luckily, it's 2026, you can find stuff online. But, yeah, I would try to stay away from 12 steps, especially for women. Do not go to a 12-step meeting in person by yourself. I'm just please don't. Please don't.
Bring a friend.
If you must go, bring a friend, please. Yes, some are forced to attend AA. I was forced to attend AA for 14 months. The first meetings that I went to were in jail, but then when I got, um basically, I cut a deal with, um, the prosecuting attorney to where I got put in a program where for 14 months, I got to, call a number every morning, and, I got, like, a 1 in 5 chance of, like, having to go piss in a cup that day. 1 in 4 chance? It was, like, m more than once a week, really. Um, I'd have to go piss in a cup in front of a lady who would, like, watch me piss in a cup, and I had to go to 12 or sorry, I had to go to 2 12-step meetings every week, and they had to be ones specifically where, like, people would sign off on it, which were not also that's another thing that I didn't mention before. So, my house that I lived in that was my recovery house, um, did not we wouldn't sign the paper. Like, we had a policy where we wouldn't sign your paper. So, as somebody who was
Wait,
going through
why?
that, because that was it we were an anonymous group, we don't say it. No one there will sign it. No. We have a
So what,
policy where we do not sign it.
how do you get it signed for the stupid court thing?
You go to a different group,
Unbelievable.
or you make friends with somebody in the group, and then you convince that person in the group to sign it for you. Because it doesn't have to be, like, the president or anything. It has to be, like, the person in the group who's comfortable doing it, because it's an anonymous group.
It should be the leader that does it. That's
Right.
ridiculous.
I don't think that you should even have to do it. So, I mean,
I know, but if you're gonna do it, it's like, oh, well, we don't do that here. What? Can you imagine like going through like 3 or 4 groups? We don't do that here.
yeah, they love to have their little control. Yeah. And that's okay, so I had to go to live in my house, my recovery house, I had to go to 2 meetings a week, every I think that we had, like, 3 meetings every week, and maybe we only had to be at, like, 1 of them, but, like, I was home for 2 of them, but I remember I would go to, like, 4 meetings a week because I was doing, like, 2 at our house, which was a
Oh
recovery
my
house,
gosh.
and those were our home group meetings, and then I had to do 2 other meetings that were away to get my paper signed.
Oh my goodness. That's just too much. It's like over the top.
Yeah,
All
but,
right,
like
I do have to go actually.
oh gosh,
So
yeah, we are right at 2 hours. Gosh, the
I gotta
time
dip out.
flew tonight. I will probably take off as well then. Yeah. Um,
But if you guys want to join on
I do need a score. Give me a
thir-
score for number 8 though, so I can at least, like, draw
30.
the line.
Oh yeah, what's number
Restrict
8?
restrict leisure time, comma, entertainment, comma, vacation time. You were saying about the
Agree.
media. Okay, 3.
Well, it depends. Like everything else is like low except for media. Media I'd put like at a 7, maybe 6.
So what's your score for number 8?
I guess I'll say 6 only 'cause of movies and music.
Okay, 6 for both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tabulate our scores for where we start next time. If you're here next time. Otherwise, I will keep going on my own. But
Culty.
thanks for coming and talking about culty stuff, guys. And thank you everybody in the comments for hanging out. I really appreciate the comments. The comments have been really awesome and insightful. And I appreciate you all being here. Thank you
And
so,
like
so very much.
sharing your big book, like sharing the big book, be sure to share this stream with folks when you see us go live.
Don't share this. But do share the stream. Yes, listen to Spackle. Don't listen to me. Thank you, guys. You have a good one. Minnow
Right.
out.
Adios.